für eigentlich Luft wird der üblich.
T minus 9 minutes. T minus 8 minutes. T minus 7 minutes. T minus 6 minutes. T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes.
This Bill, the Austrian, and this.
T minus 3 minutes.
Too many faces, noises, the ones corrupted. Cut off the ones who want you to suffer. Cut off the poison, escape the crowd. Take out the ones who keep you down. Find somewhere pure, an island in the sky.
With state and federal regulations, all testing candidates in the Aperture Science Extended Relaxation Center must be revived periodically for a mandatory physical and
I was scared to fade away in the background. Took whatever that you gave, stripped away my face to hide. But I'm not gonna waste my time again. Sick of all the lies you'd always spin. I'm the same person I was then, I've always been.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Take is when I'm sipping you. You know where I go when we're dancing.
Handshakes in the Hamptons and getting drunk in the mansions with you. Yeah.
And me and Josh on the last shit, family.
Come through with that magic. You know that I'm about to smash it. It's true.
Alright. Thank y'all. Let's do our handshake.
I could take it to the room or I could take it to the beach. But we gotta leave at 9 cause I gotta get my sleep. You could be the early bird, I'ma give you that worm. Get with me, I'll take you around the world. Cause if it's gold, I'll throw it away. You're worth more than every single chain. Walk with a lamp, it just means I'm cool. Next trip I take is just me and you. You know where I
But without further ado,
Well, I guess to close it out, we'll do our handshake.
indeed, episode 10
Signing off.
in the books.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
This is episode.
Oh, it already records. I
Yeah.
keep on forgetting. I'm so sorry.
You're all good. High five. Knock it off. Welcome to episode 39 of the Handshake. We are the sports podcast by the High Five. We mainly focus on Florida and Florida State football and baseball, and the Tampa Bay Bucks too. A lot of NFL, MLB, sometimes NASCAR, and other things like that. Yeah.
Yes, if you want to stay up to date with everything going on as far as the channel, what we're doing as far as outside of the podcast, because we're gaming, we're going to football games, as you're about to see in just a second. We did get a little bit of a YouTube post out there, which looked beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with everything going on as far as that goes, definitely. Nothing can go right. Stay up to date as far as everything going on, as far as us going to games, us going to tailgates. We're definitely going to start doing that more, and as the weeks progress, we might have to even make a trip down, even though they're just as bad as FSU, maybe even. I think they're better. I think Florida's better, but we might actually have to make a little trip down to Gainesville, maybe do a little walk around the stadium.
That would be pretty dope.
That would be pretty dope. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with stuff like that going on, and maybe you want to tag along, hang out, maybe be a part of the video, definitely feel free. These are going to be our socials to do that. These are going to be me and Jacob's mains. So as you can see, the Twitch, Instagram, and all of our Twitters, or X, I guess you could say, because it's not Twitter anymore. I say Twitter every time, but it's X.
It's always going to be Twitter, just like it's always going to be NCAA.
Very true. It is always going to be NCAA. But yes, as you can see, it was JTV Tree and JTV Tree 16 for X. Mm-hmm. And then Jacob as
XXC10 on both Instagram and X, and J.High5 on Twitter. So yeah, last week we actually, or not last week, yeah, it was last week. Last Friday we did our stream together.
We did
with both of our channels, J.High5 and JTV Tree, with our High Five Sore Thumbs account. So that was a lot of fun.
It was pretty cool to try to get it to where it would actually. It took forever, but we got it working.
Yeah,
we finally got it working.
Yeah, we had some fun with that. What was really fun about it was the comeback that I had that game. It's like a 21-point deficit.
I swear to everybody except Dalton, because he holds this singular game over my head that we played not last weekend, but the weekend before last when he was here. It was like 45-0 at halftime. But other than that, every other game I am winning by a decent amount, and pick City after that.
Yeah, that and fumble City on that game.
I will fumble and pick until I lose.
Yeah. But we have a lot of fun on those games. If y'all do want to watch any more of those, leave it down in the comments, and we'll do a lot more matchups. I know Josh is on his Dynasty. He revamped his FSU Dynasty here recently.
I did.
And I'm still picking a school to go with. I still haven't decided who I want to run a season with.
Really?
Yeah. I was going to do Vanderbilt, and I did a test run with it, and that did not work out so well.
Vanderbilt?
Yeah, that was before this season, so they might have updated the roster because they've looked pretty decent their past 2 games. So you never know.
It's like me picking Jacksonville State, except it's a D1, high up school.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hey. It's a wonderful time of day. Hey, it's a wonderful time of day.
Dude, I miss Arthur. That was a good show.
Man,
Yeah.
the craziest thing, we're already getting off subject.
Yeah, but this is...
Homie's an aardvark.
Yeah.
He looks like a teddy. Like the adaptation of because actually Arthur is actually a book.
Mm-hmm.
If people didn't know, it was actually a book before it was a cartoon. They literally had to make this man look from a literal aardvark and then morphed him into a teddy bear. But he was an art. I didn't even know he was an aardvark.
Yeah. It's weird about those shows. But I miss Arthur. Franklin the Turtle. That was a good show. Little Bear. That was great.
Did you know that Peppa Pig's like 6'5"?
What?
Yeah.
As like a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old?
So, but no, like according to the show, Peppa Pig is like 6 something, and then like Mama and Daddy Pig are like 8 feet or like 10 feet.
Holy cow!
Could you imagine a 6 foot Peppa Pig walking in your house, taller than you?
That's a big. You know how much bacon we can get off of that?
Your neighbors would have a field day with Peppa.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Come here, Peppa.
But
Chicharron. Make some chicharron.
Yeah, but before we get into our actual podcast, I know we already got sidetracked, but let's get a little more sidetracked and talk about what we've done over the weekend. Let's get into our first segment, our random story of the week. So, you want to start out? Random story of the week?
Sure. Nothing this weekend, transpired too much. FSU, of course, had the bye week, which we still somehow lost. But anyways, very uneventful weekend, very busy on Saturday at work. And then I come in this morning to work wanting just a normal day. After a busy week last week, I was like, this week's going to be different. I'm going to come into work. Everything's going to be okay. I get in. I open everything up, and I go to open the jewelry room. And I feel like moist in the air. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And then I walk more into the jewelry room, and I can smell more moistness. And I look over, literally entirely at Fulmer's, almost our entire jewelry floor is underwater. Jesus. Completely underwater. This is 5 minutes before customers are coming in the door. So we pretty much opened up the doors, literally had 1 or 2 of our guys help everyone, and me and another associate shop vac, and we pretty much had to use the back of brooms as squeegees to get it out of the rug, and used a shop vac for 2 hours.
Jeez.
It's dry now. Well, it's drier. We had to put a dehumidifier and 4 industrial fans in there. But yeah.
Did y'all call some people to come out there and do that? Y'all did it
do
yourselves? What? To get all the moisture out of the air. I know there's companies that go around. Tim used to work for a company that went around if someone had flood damage. They put the moisture machines in there and whatnot. Did y'all get those people to come, or did y'all do it yourselves?
Let me tell you something about Fulmers. The way that you keep a whole bunch of money is you're a cheapskate. And you get people like me that you pay very, I'm never going to get into that, a certain amount of money to do certain tasks that are not in the resume. Technically, I am a salesman, a gun dealer, technically an arms dealer, a mechanic, an engine mechanic, and I'm also whatever that is.
Wow.
Jack of all trades. And I'm also a carpenter.
That's hilarious.
These are all my job titles. Could you imagine like a little thing like "Hi, my name is," and then having like all the job titles? Might be like one of those things that has like the little hangy ones.
Yeah.
Like, ching, 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 ching.
It'll come all the way down your kneecaps.
Yeah, like check cash, whatever. But yeah, and the cops showed up probably 12 separate times today.
Oh my goodness. Fraudulent checks.
It's people stealing stuff and coming and sell it to us.
Uh-huh.
And then someone had a seizure in the parking lot, so then we had to call 911. 2 fire trucks showed up, blocked North Monroe traffic for like 30 minutes. An ambulance showed up. A cop showed up. The same cop who had been there 3 separate other times in the day.
Wow.
I'm glad today's done.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's my story of the week.
I'm sorry about that. That is just a Monday.
Yeah, and actually, besides the water, that's a normal day. Not really normal, but kind of normal.
Dang.
Yeah, it's always fun. So, what's your random story of the week?
I had a pretty busy weekend. Pretty busy.
You did indeed.
Yeah. So Friday I had my job interview, and right after the job interview, James had a cross country meet down in St. Pete, and he needed some help with it. So he asked me if I wanted to tag along and everything. So I was like, sure. So we went down to St. Pete, watched a cross country meet, timed it, got asked a million questions that basically funneled down to one question. I'll just sum it up. We'll have people. I'll paint the picture for you too. We were sitting right next to the finish line. We roped off the finish. We had the clock set up, cameras, whatnot, our table, computer. We're sitting there, and we had parents walk up to us and ask us, "Do you know where the finish line is?" It got to the point where me and James, like, they asked us like multiple different ways. And it got to the point where me and James went, "Beats us." We don't know where it is.
Like, woman, you're standing at it. That's why we're right here. Hello.
Yeah.
This is your finish line.
I
am
had-
timing the race. I am here to time the race. Do I stand at the middle?
Yeah. We had one lady come up to us and she goes, after the second mile, which way do they go? And I was like, ma'am, we just showed up not even 45 minutes before the first race. We just know where the finish line is.
Good night.
Yeah, that was really busy. But we had a good time after the meet. We went to a couple breweries, walked around St. Pete. It was really nice. But we got back Saturday night at probably 9:30, 10 o'clock. I went straight to bed, took a shower, went straight to bed, woke up the next morning, got in the car, and drove up to Atlanta Motor Speedway yesterday.
The greatest speedway of all time. They have so much to look at and so much to do.
Yeah. There's not much to look at as a fan. When you're walking around, they got a whole fan fest, people talking, doing their podcasts and whatnot. But at the race, I give my whole review about each place I've been to and how the stadiums hold up. Their stadium isn't much to it. It's just one level. You walk from one end to another. There's just a bunch of concession stands around there. And there was just one billboard. I like reading history about all these different tracks. Like Daytona, everywhere you walk, there's something about different people who's won there, different events they've held there. Bristol, same thing. Charlotte, also same thing. But Atlanta, there was nothing around. Nothing like saying this person won this many times here. It was just a wall that had every single winner on it. And I'm like, there's nothing much to this place. But it was a cool track. The track was fast, a lot of great racing. The last 50 laps of that race, me, my dad, and our buddy Alejandro that we took up there with us, we stood up the whole entire time. It was awesome finish. Busch looked like he was going to win it at one point. Suarez did too. But I've been to 2 races this year, NASCAR races, one in Bristol and one in Atlanta, and both times 2 of the people I can't stand the most on that track has won. Denny Hamlin in Bristol and Joey Logano at Atlanta. Now, if I show up to another race this year, that means Martin Truex Jr. might win because I can't stand him either.
You just need to stop going to races.
Yeah, I think so. But
For
Daniel
the
Suarez
betterment,
looked good.
for the betterment of your team.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah. But did he win?
No. He should have won, though. If that Walmart sign didn't
What
fall.
about the other race that you went to? Did he look good on that one too?
He looked pretty decent. He wasn't in the top 10, though. It was a short track, so him, Ross Chastain didn't look too well. But Chase Elliott looked good.
Chastain.
Yeah.
Chastain.
But while I was there, I was able to get this shirt, a Busch Light hat and T-shirt with a Ross Chastain.
For a whopping price of
$50 for both of them. It was a deal. Usually it's $30 for a T-shirt, $35 for the hat. So, yeah.
$35. It's
This is a Richardson hat.
a dude like
That's the reason why I got it. So we can see if we can do some high five hats with the string. Do some retro looking hats. That would be pretty.
Ooh, yes. Like
Yeah.
the designs that you had come up with the
Shh, the secret.
beverages.
Yeah. Those would be pretty dope. You gonna pull up and show people?
No, Kamala Harris is texting me telling me to not vote for Trump.
Oh my goodness. Well, to get into the college sports of things, you ready to talk about some uniforms
Indeed.
and then get into the football games we had this week?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to head on over to our next segment. Where is it? Where's my suit up?
Where's
here
your
we go.
suit up?
Here we go. Suit up.
Suit
Game
up.
day threads. Yeah. So a lot of teams came out with a bunch of new uniforms this past week. Some of them looked pretty good. Some of them did not look pretty good. The ones that did look good looked very good. We're going to start off with Rice, with their helmets that they did this past week. They did it was for College Day.
College Day.
Yeah. So what they did, they got all these different colleges that are around Rice, that all these kids, I think, went to community college there or went to college at one time there. They were able to put another college logo
Oh, that's
on
sick.
their helmet, which was, yeah, it was really cool. So everybody had a different logo on their helmet, and I thought it was awesome. Like, because you see some people had the Rice logo and some people had, like, Jameson University or something like that. I don't know.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, brother.
That's a big win for Rice. A lot of people were hating on that when I first saw it on Twitter, but I thought that I loved them when they came
Yeah,
out.
it looks dope.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So UCF came out with basically a different style helmet. What they did before their spring game this past year, they went over to their local hospital and had all these different kids draw up or color in the UCF logo in different ways. So in the spring game this past year, they did that. They wore the one with the astronaut on the side, and people were coloring in with their different stuff. So they did it this past week, playing. I forgot who they were playing, but I love these helmets. I think it's really cool, giving back to the community, let kids see their artwork on the side of helmets. Speaking of which, Chase Elliott did something close to this past week at Atlanta. There was a kid that was diagnosed with cancer in 2022, and every year Chase Elliott picks a kid to draw up what his car would look like. So this past weekend, he had a car that was drawn up by this kid, and it was really cool. He drew a little airplane on the side and a bunch, like a little like confetti all over it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked
it.
it.
That's sick. That should be implemented more. Like, we should have wacky, like FSU should wear some weird, like completely not, even though like the tribal is technically FSU colors, but doing stuff like that would be dope. That would be dope.
Yeah. A lot of teams should be doing this a lot more, because Iowa has the best chance to do this because they do the wave already to the kids. But shout out to UCF for doing this. Very cool helmets, giving back to the community.
For sure. Yeah.
But there's some big news that happened this past weekend about a team's whiteouts.
Are these who are... Oh.
So Western Kentucky was going to be it did host Eastern Kentucky this past weekend and wanted to do a whiteout. And every year for their whiteout, they always wear white helmets, white jerseys, white pants. Well, Eastern Kentucky is trying to fuel up the rivalry some more. So they ended up wearing white jerseys to this game. And safe to say, Western Kentucky wasn't too happy about that. So they had to release this statement saying that we announced our football game themes promotion of the 2024 season in July with July 10th with Saturday's home opener theme, a whiteout. Every season we wear white helmets, uniforms, and pants in our annual whiteout game. However, EKU informed us on Tuesday of this week that they would be exercising their right as a visiting team to wear white uniforms, which every team does as an away is able to do that. Thus forcing us to wear red jerseys on Saturday. Per NCAA rules, both teams must agree to a uniform switch. We were hoping EKU would agree to allowing us wear our whites on Saturdays, as many other opponents have done in the past year. We still encourage our fans to show up, be loud, and wear white. Go Tops. I kind of think what Eastern Kentucky did was pretty funny. And that's a good college football rivalry right there.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. They'd be like, oh, yeah, nope.
Western Kentucky's rebuttal, though, kind of seems like a crying kid in the corner going, he won't let me wear what I want to wear.
Yes. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Like, if you think about it, all these different teams that visit LSU.
Well, wait, time out.
Okay.
For instance, if Florida had I don't know why, but for instance, if they had like this limited edition uniform that had white in it, mainly white, and then let's say for instance Tennessee was like, we're gonna wear our all whites.
Yeah. Well, I think it was not last year, but the year before, our first home opener, we wore orange helmets and all white. The team we played could have just said, no, we're going to wear white.
Mm-hmm. They didn't.
Yeah.
Now, how would you have felt?
I'd been pretty pissed off. But I wouldn't have made a whole statement about that.
They have to let people know because it's a tradition of
No,
theirs.
I mean like how they made the statement.
Oh.
Like it's kind of like, they didn't let us wear. We talked to them and they didn't want to. That's kind of how the statement's put.
Oh, who won?
I want to say Western Kentucky won that game. I gotta pull it up.
Yes. Western Kentucky beat Eastern Kentucky
Yeah.
31-0.
Put the belt to the bottom for wearing white to their whiteout.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We're going to me, and then get goose egged.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Congratulations to y'all.
Congrats.
But there was a pleasant uniform
Oh, yeah.
game that happened. Vanderbilt versus, is it Alcorn?
Yes,
Yeah.
Alcorn.
Alcorn. I love the
Acorn.
white Acorn. I put that up there earlier. But I love Vanderbilt's white helmets on the all black uniforms, and Alcorn's purple, gold, purple really ties in that clash very well.
The gold, purple, gold.
Oh, that would
Or my fault. Purple, gold, purple. That's beautiful.
yeah.
And Vandy's, the helmets are clean, not doing too much. The black is clean. They're not doing none of that stupid outlining with the numbers. They're just keeping it clean with the white on black.
Yeah.
The good thing is Vanderbilt has 3 main colors, one of them being gold and one of them literally being the exact opposite of each other. So they're going to go very well.
Mm-hmm.
You can do anything with black and white
Yeah.
and gold. Like their gold is a clean gold too. It's
Yeah.
just beautiful. Beautiful.
That
Both
purple,
sides.
gold, purple, though, kind of reminds me of when the Vikings were, I think it was the Vikings or the Ravens. It was the Ravens that tried to
It
do
was the
gold
Ravens.
uniforms.
Yes.
And they turned out so bad, they decided not even wear them.
It was the Ravens, yes.
Yeah. Those were some god-awful color rushes back in the day, especially when they made the Bucks wear all red with those clock uniforms.
Yes. The color rushes and the 2015 Nike Pro Combat like color rush theme.
Yeah, those were horrible. Yeah.
Disgusting.
But to make great uniforms, you have to test the waters with everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just give it all to Oregon.
Mm-hmm. I do think the Bucks need to bring back red pants.
Yeah.
Even though that was just for those color rushes.
Even though those uniforms those whites looked so clean.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Baker looked beautiful.
Yeah. We're going to get into that in just a bit.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. But Arizona came out with these new helmets. I think it was today that they're going to be wearing this weekend.
Ooh.
Awesome. I am a big fan of cursive. Like I said, every time we've showed a team that has cursive like this, out of the park, it looks awesome. I know that they have a white helmet with cats on the side and a blue helmet because I played with them multiple times on college football. But this red chrome helmet, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Love it. Especially with that white jersey. Looks great.
Oh, it does, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. The white cursive on the like the matte. No, it's not matte.
It's like chromish.
Chromish.
Yeah.
Chromish red. Just looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. 7 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10, to be honest. I like it. There was some uniforms that did not look too good. Talking about Oklahoma's throwback uniforms that they wore was basically
So bad.
yeah, was basically an homage to what Alabama would wear as an alternate uniform, basically. I guess it works for some Oklahoma fans. There wasn't a lot on Twitter that liked it.
Literally, the only reason you knew Oklahoma was playing Houston is the amount of Oklahoma fans and literally the OU in the middle of the field. Other than that, they could have been honestly, honest to God, you know what they look like? They look like Stanford.
When
Because
I turned on the game, that's what I thought.
Stanford has those unis where they don't have the S and it's just a white helmet. And they both have like the same crimson. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
This is Oklahoma.
When I first clicked onto the game, I was like, hold on. Stanford's playing Houston at Oklahoma. Oh, wait, that's Oklahoma doing the throwbacks today.
They almost lost, too, in
Yeah.
their throwbacks. So that would have been hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get into it yet.
Oh,
It would be off topic.
West Virginia has released some gold helmets that they're going to be wearing this week, too. 10 out of 10 on these. I love
Oh, my gosh.
them. Yeah. Their state looks so cool. And with that on a helmet, it just looks like a logo itself. It's so cool. I love their WV. It kind of looks like
If I had to
Wonder Woman.
pick, honestly, a second college to be a fan of, probably be West Virginia.
Yeah. Like their uniforms that they revamped this past year looked awesome. We talked
Uniforms,
about them
their
recently.
campus is beautiful, their stadium is nice. I mean, they have a really good like football fan. Like West Virginia hasn't been good in football in like forever. They still have a really good fan base that shows up, which I don't get. But especially with that bimbo that they have as their head coach. It's been there for 30 gazillion years. Is he still there?
I don't think he is. I'm gonna try to pull up their unis that they just recently
The unis.
put out. I gotta quickly bring them up. It's been months since we talked about it.
Oh, I know which ones you're talking about. Like the white and like dark blue.
Yeah, they did white, blue, and yellow, which the yellow ones aren't that cool looking.
Oh, that helmet.
The helmet's clean. Whatever combo they're going to be throwing this
Bro, they literally just need to run that helmet for the rest of eternity and never go to another helmet.
Yeah. Their blue helmet is cool now.
Yes.
I do like those.
But,
Here's what
oh
their-
my.
Yeah, their jerseys, they look cool. Not with color on color on color, but they have a lot of combinations they can be running with these.
Now, the only thing that can save that all yellow uni is throw that hat on it.
Yeah. I would say yellow helmet, yellow jersey, and white pants would look so clean.
It would literally look like a bun ready for a hot dog. The white bread. Got the yellow mustard.
True. It's just missing. Yeah.
Just missing the big dog, which
Yeah.
technically you could say that's a human.
True.
Because anybody who puts ketchup on their hot dog is a communist.
I like ketchup on my hot dog. If you like ketchup on your brat, then you're a communist. Ketchup on a hot dog's all right. It's the only way to make it taste better. Ketchup, mustard, and relish. I don't like
Oh
hot
Lord!
dogs that much.
If you went to New York, they'd shoot you.
Well,
The only thing you don't put on a hot dog is ketchup.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
not
do
from
have
New York.
the relish. You do have the relish. Down.
Relish is good on it. That's the only way to make a hot dog taste better.
So technically, if West Virginia and Michigan State play, and then like the Louisville Birds on the sideline, then we have a perfect hot dog.
Yeah, there we go.
We could have the hot dog bowl. It could be like the Pop-Tart bowl, except it's going in like a...
Iowa State versus West Virginia.
Yes!
Or Iowa State versus Baylor.
Yes, and
Because
they could
that's
be at
red.
the hot dog bowl.
Yeah. The condiment hot dog bowl.
The Duke's Mayo Condiment Bowl. And they have like a hot dog.
We don't care their record at the end of the year. We're going to throw them in the The Mayo Bowl.
They put them in a ginormous grill. And then it just pops out and they're all eating hot dogs.
Yes.
At the end. It's great.
They pull out picnic tables at the 50-yard lines at the end of the game.
I feel like that's the next NCAA. Hit us up. We got a next
The High
great
Five
bowl
Bowl.
idea. Yes, the High Five Condiments Bowl.
The High Five Birmingham Bowl. Bring it back.
No, Shreveport, baby. Shreveport. Let's do it, baby. We'll get it big in Shreveport.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
We got to do a Tallahassee Bowl because we're from Tallahassee.
That would actually be dope.
And we do it at Fam Bragg Memorial.
Gene Cox Stadium. Welcome to the Tallahassee Bowl.
We're 3,000 people deep.
We have SMU versus Northwestern here at Gene Cox Stadium. As you see over there, there's a homeless man injecting heroin. And then on the other side, you see homeless people and a gang member getting ready to get shot as he's going next to Rickards. And if you look directly over there, there is the fairgrounds.
Great bowl game. That's all I got to say.
A balmy 80 gazillion degrees in December. Welcome to the bowl.
I wonder who would be announcing that.
Mike Ditka and
Tom Brady.
who's the guy from To Catch a Predator?
Oh,
The main guy. Not one of the guys that get caught.
what's his name? If you wouldn't have asked me that, I could just say it off the top of my head.
Why don't you take a seat? Dang it! Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen. All
All
right,
right,
I
Chris
want
Hansen.
Dick Vitale and Chris Hansen to call. And then the sideline reporter,
The two guys from the Catfish.
I want Jameis Winston and RG3.
Oh, true. I was thinking like two random dudes, like the guys from the Catfish TV show.
Actually, no, that's who I want calling my bowl. No, I want RG3 and Jameis.
Okay. Word.
And then sideline reporter, I want Samantha Ponder.
With Aaron Andrews. We came in with the best broadcast team.
We did. Halftime is going to be me eating hot dogs with my shirt off for 27 minutes. However long halftimes are.
And then the last 3 minutes is you puking it all up.
I'm going to be the Joshy Chestnut.
Yeah.
All right, back
Well,
on.
speaking of you with your shirt off,
Oh,
the
Lord.
Giants yesterday were playing with their pants off because these jerseys were god-awful. Last night, or yesterday, the New York Giants were celebrating 100 and some odd years.
They need to go back.
Yeah. So they wore an homage to multiple eras of the New York Giants uniforms. Their jerseys jerseys and pants, I think, is from their original jerseys that they wore. Their helmets are the first helmets that they wore that were hard shells in that design. And the socks came from, I don't know, it looks like the Canucks socks.
Hitler.
Yeah. These weren't the best uniforms to wear. It kind of looked like Lululemon's skin-colored yoga pants that they have. They're god-awful.
I had to. It was too good.
Yeah, these jerseys are a 0 out of 10.
The uniform is terrible. The
Yeah.
pants, oh Lord.
They're, oh my god.
Honestly, so the pants look like the pants that all the horse girls wear.
Yes. Those khaki tight pants.
Yep.
Yeah. But there was some good throwback unis.
Yes, these
were
were
worn.
so. I was so hyped when I saw these on the television, bro. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
For a first game of the NFL season, wearing these throwback unis,
Beautiful.
Seahawks knocked it out of the park. 11 out of 10 for these guys. Love them.
There's nothing they could have changed or made better or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. in
Absolutely
every way.
beautiful. They need to wear these all the time. Do away with the helmets that they wear now. Just wear these helmets and then the aways that go with these throwback unis.
Tito said, "Good gravy, he's naked."
That is so, yeah, they're ugly.
Tossing a giant bowl of hot dog water. Oh, could you imagine that at halftime? Ugh.
Oh. After you finish your hot dogs, you got to drink the hot dog water.
Or I got to dunk the hot dogs in the hot dog water. Like, that's my drink.
Yeah. Oh, that would be nasty.
Oh, no, I'd get a hot dog down, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
I'd be Josh chest of puking everywhere.
Mm-hmm. For anybody that is watching, if you do comment at any time we are live, we will talk to you. So, Tito, what up? Glad you're on the show.
Yes, thank you, Tito.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah. You ready to talk about some scores?
I
think
am.
we should start with NFL.
I feel like we should, too.
Yeah. I do want to start out before we do that. Is talk about Will Levis. My man threw a pick, and while they were running it back, he goes straight to his knees knowing that his career is over. Absolutely over.
The Bears are terrible, and the fact that he lost the game.
Yeah. The Titans had a chance.
Literally, there was no offense played for Chicago. It was literally all of Chicago's defense doing what they needed to do. And that was it. Caleb Williams had to do nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I believe it was, 16 of their points, I believe?
Let's look at stats. 2 interceptions from Will Levis. Only 1 touchdown. Tony Pollard had a carry into the touchdown.
Caleb Williams was 14 for 29
Yeah.
for 93 yards.
Only 93 yards, yeah. That's a first quarter stat.
I'm excited for you to see Bo Nix's stat.
Oh, yeah. I looked at that a little earlier. It's...
Holy.
Yeah. So the Bears defeated the Titans, scraping by.
Scraping.
Like literally scraping by.
Scraping
24-17. So
Was
the
not a
Jets and
good game.
49ers just started.
Oh, yeah. I think it was 8:15 was kickoff.
Yeah. So let's start out from the top. That happened on Thursday. The Chiefs and the Ravens. That game was very upsetting. It looked like the Ravens were going to win that game, come back and win it. But the refs had a different plan.
Yeah, the amount of times that illegal formation was called, but then the guard for Kansas City proceeded to false start every single snap, and they didn't throw a singular flag on that. I was like, oh, they're definitely cooking this.
Yeah.
They have to. If you're calling this many illegal formations, but then you're not calling a blatant false start almost on every single play, because the Ravens defense is physically more athletic than he is, so they're giving him more of an edge. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be in the NFL. If you can't keep up, you're going to get blown by, like we saw in the Super Bowl for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Their offensive line wasn't that good. They kept on getting blown by Villa and all of them, and they torched him, and there were like 8 or 9 sacks that game.
Yeah.
Because you just can't give it to them just because they're having a tough time. This is the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting paid millions of dollars, and you're going to just... By the way, Lamar Jackson, the amount of DJ Uyunglele references were hilarious.
He looked just like him, especially on that last drive, overthrowing that guy and 2 yards behind him. That That was horrendous to watch. Lamar was actually a 26 for 41, so that's a little
Not
over
good.
50%. Yeah. He did throw for 273 yards, only one touchdown. He was carried by his
Holy.
running. It's
You passed it.
did I pass it?
Go.
Receiving, rushing. Yes.
Buck 22.
Derrick Henry had one touchdown with 46 yards, and Lamar Jackson had 122 with 16 carries, no touchdowns.
Man almost had. No, he almost had 400 yards of all-purpose yards.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah.
There were definitely times that he needed to throw the ball that could have helped them better with the outcome of the game than him just running it.
Yeah. Especially that fumble that he had. That was a big setback
Oh,
for their
brother.
Yeah. Was not good for fantasy stats neither. I forgot who had him.
Talk about fumble. Who had who?
Lamar. He had a fumble. Who picked him up for our fantasy league?
Let's see. By the way, I need to see if my boy Debo. Let's see. Fantasy.
The Chiefs look pretty good. Patrick Mahomes ended with a 20 for 28, a 291 yards, and one touchdown, and one interception, though. But,
Buki.
yeah. Isaiah Pacheco, he
What?
looked really good.
What? Did you just say his name again?
Pacheco. I know it's Pacheco.
Thank God.
I know it's Pacheco.
Thank God. I was like, you literally give him to me. Give him to me.
He's on
Give
my
him-
team.
Yeah, no, give him to me. You don't deserve to have him if you're going to call him Pacheco. You
I thought that would have been
racist.
funny to say.
You racist.
Pacheco.
Wait, Puka's out? Puka got hurt?
I'm sorry, buddy.
All right, well, breaking news for anyone that didn't know. If you have Puka Nakua on your fantasy team, he is out, and they're putting him on IR.
Well, that's not good. But the next NFL game that happened was the Green Bay Packers and the Eagles in Brazil. Yeah, it was Brazil.
Yes.
Um,
Dalton
The
has Lamar
Eagles-
Jackson.
oh, he does? Yeah. Dang.
20 points.
That's still better than what Brock Purdy's going to give me tonight.
I mean, Josh Allen gave me 33.
Yeah, I should have started Baker. He would have gave me 29 points. Oops. There is one uniform I forgot to put on here. Was the Eagles black, white, black that they wore in Brazil, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they beat the Green Bay Cheeseheads 34-29. So they were slipping and sliding around the field. That was a fun game to watch.
Until the very end.
Until the very end, yeah. There was a lot of Giants fans that weren't happy that night.
Yeah, mainly, I think the most unhappy is Giants ownership.
Yes, definitely.
Literally seeing the clip of him being like, because it resurfaced after he had a game. They were like, oh, yeah, there are reports saying that he might be going to Philly, but it doesn't seem like they really want him and everything. And then the GM and the owner of the team, or the owner and then somebody up like high up, are literally sitting in the coach's office like, man, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to get any sleep if Philadelphia gets, if they get Saquon.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. And then they get him, and on top of that, he does that.
Yeah. Yeah, but Saquon Barkley had 24 carries for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was averaging 4.5 a carry.
Beast.
Dude was looking so good.
Yep.
So his first carry though, when he had the fumble when he slipped, that was funny. I put it on my story, and the next thing you know, he scored that touchdown, and I'm like, maybe I should take this off my story.
They let them wear green, but on top of that, they were like, "We're just going to make y'all slip and slide everywhere."
Yeah. You know that was planned. That had been planned.
What?
They wet the ground some more.
Oh,
before they went out there.
without a doubt.
Because they were wearing green.
And apparently it was raining cats and dogs before the game, too.
Yeah. So there's actually a little story that I read about that. When they flew over there, they were told that they weren't allowed to go look at the city at all while they're in Brazil. They had to stay locked up inside the hotel room before the game because they were scared that people of Brazil wouldn't have liked them out because the violence that was happening around the hotels that they were staying in.
Oh, so pretty much you're saying is the Brazilian government was scared to death that they would have 120 Ricky Pearsall incidents.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we don't want you to go out and get killed before your game or before the NFL season even starts, and we don't want the liability of such. So you're going to stay in your room.
Yeah. But Jordan Love was hurt pretty bad towards the end of the game. But good news is he's up and walking. There was a video of him coming off the airplane. I think it was Sunday night. He was coming off walking, so he looks pretty good.
Would he have a boot? Or he was just walking regularly?
I think he had a boot on. Yeah. But that's good. He's up and walking, so hopefully they get him all treated up, get back on the field. Very bad news for Packers fans because they put a lot on the line to draft him.
And he's literally he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Is he?
Yeah, he got a contract
goodness.
like a month ago. Did you not remember? We talked about it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
He is literally the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and now he's out
That's insane.
for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be sick if I was a Green Bay fan, and especially their backup.
Yeah. There was one game that made me smile ear to ear that wasn't a Bucs game yesterday. It was the Steelers going into Atlanta and looking like an actual team for once.
Yep, TJ Watt's racist self.
Yeah. The Steelers ended up winning that game 18-10. I do have to say, while I was at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, there was a lot of Falcons fans there, decked out in Falcons gear. And they were sitting there watching the game, and there was one lady. She had a Ridley jersey on.
Did you have Buck stuff on?
No. No, I was wearing NASCAR stuff because I was at a NASCAR race, not a football game. There was so many Falcons fans wearing jerseys and Georgia Bulldog fans wearing jerseys.
Oh,
like,
see, that's not okay. I feel
Alabama
like if it's
fans
on
wearing
Sunday,
T-shirts, like-
if it's on Sunday, I'm gonna rep my. I'm gonna be like one of those moms and dads that have kids that play on a different team and have like a half jersey of my favorite racer, and then my college or NFL team, and be like, yeah.
Oh man. But there was one lady watching it and I walked up behind her and I said, "What's the score?" And she goes, "Atlanta's losing." And I was like, "Well, go Bucks." I walked away.
Oh Lord. The fact that we got a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they almost got one.
Almost. If they stopped it at halftime, yeah.
Yeah.
Not third quarter. By the end of the third quarter, the Patriots already had that game won. They were almost like fully back at that time. They were only down by like 7 or 10 points. I think it was only 2 drives into the fourth quarter they started coming back.
Dang.
Yeah. That was a crazy Super Bowl.
It really was.
But one of the craziest games of the Steelers-Falcons was Justin Jefferson or not Justin Jefferson, Justin Fields. I'm literally reading his name right now, and I said Justin Jefferson. Justin Fields was a starter over Russell Wilson.
He was hurt.
I know. But still, that's crazy that he ended up getting the start. And he played somewhat decent. A 17 for 23, 156 yards. No passing touchdowns on him.
He threw the ball 2 times past the 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm. All of them were checked down.
0% of the balls were in the middle of the field. Literally, I saw his quarterback thing because they have a quarterback chart of literally where they throw every single pass. 90% of them are within 2 yards of the sideline or 2 yards of the line of scrimmage on the sideline to both sides.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins kind of turned into his old self that game too. He went 16 for 26, 155 yards, only 1 touchdown to our boy Kyle Pitts.
I knew he wasn't going to be a bust in fantasy this year. This is the year, Kyle Pitts. This is the year. You have a guy that will literally only throw it to you and then throw it to the defense.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, because Kirk Cousins ended up throwing 2 interceptions that game. That is crazy.
I literally looked up in amazement. I was like, how in the world of all people is the very first touchdown for the Atlanta Falcons going to be Kyle Pitts?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think he was going to play. By the way,
only 3 receptions that game.
Who was going to tell me that? Oh, we haven't gotten in that game yet.
Oh, okay.
Can't keep on jumping.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts only had 3 receptions for 26 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that helped my fantasy.
Yeah, he only had 3 targets though. So
100%.
yeah, looking at the receiving core for the Falcons, there ain't much to it. You got Ray McLeod, is it Bijan? Yeah, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London as their 4 big guys, and Darnell Mooney. But
well, that's 5 good receivers. What are you talking about? They just need a good quarterback. They don't have one.
Not as good as our receivers. Let's be honest. We got the best receiving core in NFL right now.
Michael Penix. Not the other stabby
He is
thing.
not going to be the...
No, he's terrible.
He is not going to be the answer for the Falcons.
No.
They're not going to find a quarterback for a long, long time. That wasn't a surprise game to talk about. You want to talk about it? Oh, okay. We're going to skip over the Bills, Cardinals. Bills won.
Wait, no, actually, real quick. Okay. Keon the GOAT.
How many receptions did he get?
Only 5, 4, something like that. He was only set at 2.5.
Keon Coleman, 4 receptions.
51 yards.
51 yards. Pretty good.
One of his catches were beautiful.
Yeah, so he had 1 drop pass, or maybe it was overthrown. He was targeted 5 times.
It was a pass over his head, like a 1.5 miles. It was a jump ball.
Wasn't on
in the end zone.
One that we did show y'all a picture of from earlier, the Titans and the Bears. Titans ended up losing 17-24, and all I gotta say, it wasn't Caleb Williams was the reason why the Bears won that game. Their defense somehow ended up winning the game for him. Will Levis, with only 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, kind of like Kirk Cousins, went 19 for 32, so under 40%. 127 on his passing yards, so not looking too hot. Tony Pollard, 16 carries, 82 yards, and 1 touchdown for the Titans. That basically summed up their whole entire scoring. Caleb Williams, though, the one that everybody was kind of raising an eyebrow on how bad he looked. He went 14 for 29 with only 93 yards. He might be the new check down king of the NFL. I know you were saying that trash. Justin Fields was check down king, but Caleb Williams might be on top of that. with only 93 yards for 14 completions.
But see, this is his first year in the league. Justin Fields has been in the league for like 3 or 4 years now.
That is true.
Maybe even longer than that, honestly, because he's
Yeah.
been with, what, 3 teams now?
But I thought Caleb Williams said he was going to jump right into the NFL and be a star.
Well, Deion Sanders also said that his kid was the next greatest quarterback of all time, but...
Yeah.
Oh, my offensive line can't block!
Yeah. Yeah, so the Bengals... Joe Burrow did not look like himself.
Joe Burr.
Yeah, again, no, he was not Burr. He was Joe Burrow.
No, he was Joe Burr.
Yeah.
Joe Burr. Burr.
I was Burr when he's good and Burr when he's not?
Yes, it's Joe Burr.
Okay. Yeah, but they lost 16-10. He did not look very good. Anthony Richardson with the Colts yesterday lost 27-29 against the Texans. But everybody around the NFL can only talk about that cannon he has. He threw it, was it like 54 yards directly in the receiver's hands in the end zone?
How does this make you feel as a Florida fan?
I knew this question was coming.
No. I mean, honestly, the man is great in the NFL.
All I got to say is, where was that when he was at Florida? I know we had a couple of plays, especially on this highlight reel, of him throwing it downfield, good completions.
I don't know. Maybe he has a competent coaching staff now.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
And competent people around him that make him make plays.
We have a coaching staff that does not know how to go into the ability of our quarterback and our receivers. So we were throwing like god-awful plays with him. There were so many times that there was a guy open downfield, and how the play was scripted, he has to throw it to the check down. So there he is, throwing it to the check down, and there's -2 yards because the corner could read that a mile away, but nobody else read the guy in the flat or in the street going to the end zone. But Napier wanted him to throw it to the guy. I'm babbling on.
You literally had the top 10 college quarterback.
Yeah. He was in the talks for the Heisman for a good bit, especially with like a 4-loss Florida team at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not good.
That shows you that man stuck by his guns and he just stuck at Florida.
Well,
even though by the end of it he was done.
There is an interview of him before the season started, and they were asked, if you weren't going to be the first round draft pick, would you have stayed at Florida? And he said no.
Wait, say that again?
If he wasn't a first round draft pick, he was going to leave Florida in the transfer portal and go somewhere else. He was going to transfer out of Florida if he wasn't.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
But since he's been in the NFL, he's only been saying decent things about Florida. So,
I mean, you can't trash the university.
yeah, that you came from, yeah. There was a game yesterday that was the Battle of Florida. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Dolphins.
Oh, Jacksonville literally soiled the bed. Soiled the bed. They 17-7 with a quarter left.
And they just let the Dolphins come back and just score at will, basically. The Saints ended up with a blowout win to the Panthers, 47-10.
They had like 19 sacks.
Yeah.
It was insane. There were like 8 picks. 2 of them were ran back for touchdowns.
This Saints defense is going to be very hard to go up against this year.
They're going to be good.
Yeah.
They're going to be the only thing that keeps the Saints in contention because Derek Carr is booty cheeks, and so is his little white minion that they throw it out there at tight end.
The Vikings destroyed the Giants 28-6, and the Vikings did not look that well.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, there's Justin Jefferson.
Yup.
So I think next Monday is going to be the Germany game, the Panthers versus the Giants, or is that later on down the road?
Shouldn't it tell you that?
Let's say the Giants.
Question. The question.
It is farther down the list. Panthers, here we are. It's going to be Sunday, November the 10th.
At 9:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Nobody's watching that game. There's a lot of memes saying that the Giants-Panthers game is our last FU to Germany about World War II.
Wait, who's playing?
Giants and the Panthers in Germany.
Oh my
In Munich.
gosh. Oh, those fans are never going to want us to come back.
Yeah. We're giving them the worst game possible.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that is literally. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I would have at least done like a one where there's going to be offense and like one team's going to get their butt beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like.
Interception after interception.
Gonna,
then fumbled after the interception.
It's going to be 10-7.
Yeah.
Or 10-3. Or 9-3. Or like a 5-3 game or a 5-2 where both of them get safeties and one of them gets a field goal. Like something stupid.
Yeah. So the Chargers ended up winning a game. Our first game with Jim Harbaugh. 22-10. I guess cheating does translate very well into the NFL.
Very happy for Herbert.
Yeah. With no wide receivers, too. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, great.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
The Seahawks, with those beautiful uniforms yesterday, ended up winning against the Broncos 26-20. That was a good game to watch.
DK was terrible.
Yeah. The Cowboys ended up showing Deshaun Touchton how to play football yesterday, too, winning 33-17. And the Cowboys really didn't even look that good, to be honest with you.
No, it was literally just the CD show.
It literally was. So the Browns, I think, well, they
I'll
should
give them until
start
0-4.
Jameis next
Yeah, I'll
week.
give them until 0-4, and then they'll probably start Jameis.
Yeah. I think they should go ahead and do it now before the
The
damage
team,
gets done.
it seems like the team likes Jameis more than
They do. They just have so much money wrapped up behind Deshaun Touchton.
that
So
they can't. Literally, they've gotten no production out of him until this year.
mm-hmm.
That game was the first full production game they've gotten out of him since the Touchton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Since his young Touchton self.
Well, we're going to skip over the Bucks game and talk about the Lions and the Rams before we jump to the game that mattered the most.
Indeed.
The Lions winning yesterday, 26-20. Yeah, that was a crazy little
Verse
OT.
looked good, bro.
I love Chris Collinsworth did not know how overtime worked yesterday. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
He didn't know they literally could have just kicked a field goal and won the game right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad when you have, like, you know, someone who's on TV who's supposed to not have a clue what's going on.
Yeah. But the game to talk about from yesterday, this is one team that we've talked about this whole offseason. Like FSU in Florida, we talked about how the team was supposed to be good, all this other kind of stuff. And Florida State has not shown anything that they talked about this offseason.
No.
But one team that did was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes.
That offensive line looked so good, creating so many open holes for Bucky Irvin and Rashad White. Looked so good. Great protection for passing. Baker looked amazing yesterday. Let's look at his stats. He was 24 for 30. That is awesome for 289 yards with 4 touchdowns. And I'm going to let y'all know this. He sat on my bench on fantasy. I shouldn't have done that. I had Brock Purdy, and I hope he does pretty well tonight.
Bucky Irving was a huge get in the draft.
He was. That was
him and Rashad, because Rashad, honestly, in my personal opinion, I mean, last year he had over 1,000 rushing, over 1,000 rushing, or close to 1,000 rushing yards. He had almost 600 receiving yards.
Yeah.
He was like 8th or 7th overall of the entire NFL as far as total backs, as far as you take in rushing and receiving. So if we have Bucky to run it and Rachaad White to catch it, brother.
You're looking at Bucky. He had 9 carries for 62 yards, which a lot of these teams don't have film on Bucky. Yeah, so Rachaad White, he had 15 carries for 31 yards. That was a 2.07 average a carry, while Bucky had a 6.8 average.
And a underappreciated mobile quarterback in the NFL is Baker Mayfield. He only had 3 rushes for 21 yards, but if you watched every single time he had to rush and get out of the pocket, the man's quick.
Yeah.
He's small, he's fast, he's quick, he can get around stuff. So literally having a power back, having a back that can be quick and agile and catch the ball, and having a quarterback who can have the games like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I pulled up Jaden Daniels. He did pretty good. For his opening debut in the NFL, Jaden Daniels actually didn't do too bad. 17 for 24, 184 yards.
Yeah, they
no
need to
touchdowns.
get that helmet situation done, because I got morbidly pissed off whenever they did that roughing the passer call just because his helmet fell off because he had his chin strap fully loose.
Mm-hmm.
Every play.
That was so
every play.
Yeah. But he actually looked pretty decent. He's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. And there was something you did say before we started the podcast. Washington's defensive line is going to be the best defensive line in the NFL. And our offensive line looking that good against them, that is impressive. Very impressive. And Washington's offensive line is fairly decent. Like, they look fairly decent yesterday. And Jaden Daniels had a lot of time to throw, but our defense was still on top of all those wide receivers. Wasn't a lot of big plays happening. So,
not a lot of miscommunication on defense. Everybody kind of knew where they needed to be. Mm-hmm. It was nice.
We actually looked like a football team compared to how we looked at the beginning of the year last year.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Terrible.
We picked it up at the beginning of the end of the year.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what NFL game I watched yesterday. There were 3 straight plays, false start, at home. It was like false start, false start, false start. And I'm like, how? How are you doing this? How are you Ooh.
Click on this real quick.
Let me guess. 2 field goals?
Aaron Rodgers right now is 7 for 10.
Why did you take Brock Purdy? That's what I really want to know, Jacob.
I thought he was going to have a good year this year. I really did.
Field goal, Jake Moody. Field goal, Jake Moody. Yep. Breece Hall, 3-yard rush. Brock Purdy is currently 2 for 6 with 20 yards.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers has made it almost through a first quarter. Is he in the second quarter now?
Great.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers made it through a quarter in the NFL season.
Hey.
That's a full 14 minutes and 30 seconds longer than last year.
They got Deebo Samuel running the ball, but not
Oh, my goodness.
Deebo has 4 rushing attempts. 0 receptions. Brandon Ayuk has 1 reception.
Yeah. So there was a lot of good NFL games. I'm glad NFL is back. Able to watch football every day on both Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
And Monday and Thursday.
There was a meme I forgot to show y'all about Tyreek Hill. Early in the morning at 10:30 a.m. on the way to the stadium, he got arrested.
He did.
Or not arrested. He got detained by the cops for a seatbelt violation. And
Seatbelt.
at 3:15, he scored a beautiful touchdown. And his celebration was him getting in handcuffs. I thought that was great. I'm not a big Dolphins guy, but I got to say kudos to Tyreek Hill to have some comedic effect on his little arrest report that he had.
Indeed. And it's even better because from the other angle, there's a kid who is pointing at him who is actually wearing an NFL hat.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break. We're going to show you our YouTube video that we posted before the FSU game. Then we're going to talk about the FSU Boston College game, air out some things that happened. And I guess we could talk about the Florida-Miami game that week too, and then talk about the games happened this past week. But
I guess we can talk about the Florida-Miami game.
we definitely going to talk about
You're
it.
just gonna. No, you're not.
No.
You're not getting away scot-free like that.
I do still have to get some things off my chest about that. So
You can talk about how bad you beat
Sanford.
that wonderful college.
Yes. But here's our YouTube video that we posted last Saturday. All right, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
This is a college game day type scenario the Handshake is putting on.
Yes. Bringing to you live from Joe Campbell Stadium at the Sportsmanship mural, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little lap around the football stadium, talk about some sports that happened this past weekend, Florida's loss, and LSU's disappointment 3 years in a row.
Brian Kelly, what a guy.
Yeah, and Georgia putting a big old butt whooping to Clemson early morning Saturday, and then Miami doing the same to Florida. But come along with us for this little walk around the stadium the morning before the big game against Boston College.
Yes, live from where it will be happening. All right, everyone. The next stop of the walk-around tour, I guess, would be the new additions to the stadium. There are a little bit, as you can tell behind me, a little bit of a difference of looks as far as Doak goes.
Some fancy bathrooms right now.
Yes, some fancy bathrooms we got behind us right here. A lot cleaner and nicer than the ones, of course, we're used to at the games on Saturdays usually. So it will probably smell a little bit nicer. And then also, it looks pretty cool. I don't know if you can quite see it as I start panning over to this side right here. So this is the new looking area of the temporary seating. I don't know if you can quite see, but there's some High Noon sponsorships in the back that we can't really get into. But it looks interesting, to say the least.
The photos, what we've seen so far of the inside of the stadium, actually look really cool. But can't wait to see it in person today.
I know. It's going to be warm today for sure. So it's going to be very interesting to see if there's any bit of a change as far as like drafts, the air, all that, because they've made complete renovations to this place. It's crazy, like looking up, like they have a new walking section area that wasn't there before. That's like closer than the next level where it usually was. It's very different for sure.
It is.
Very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the first little part of the walking around tour as far as the bathrooms in the new area of where they're putting the temporary seating.
So while we're walking, we could talk a little bit about the first game that happened on Saturday, Georgia versus Clemson.
Yes, what a game as far as defense the first quarter, and what a game for Georgia's offense in the second.
Yes. Coming out it looked like those two teams were going to have a low-scoring game
Oh
first half.
it looked like last year whenever it was. I think it was like 12-3, 9-3, when it 10-3, something like that. Super low scoring, super high defense, very low offense. A lot of 3-and-outs. I mean, pretty much what we saw the first half for sure.
Yeah,
But then, of course, the second half,
it was a totally different story.
we could then realize that Clemson's offense cannot be run unless you have Jesus at quarterback or Black Jesus at quarterback.
Yeah.
So Clay Kubnick, or however you say his name, he's not bad. He's not great by any means necessary. And also, I think it's definitely a part of Dabo's awful system he tries to run every year.
Yeah, which Georgia does have a very young offense and defense. Their wide receiver core looks as dangerous as it was prior years we've had.
Brother, they looked electric. They looked good. I mean, even with their tight end being gone from the draft and them losing a bunch of draft picks, I mean, they got fast guys on the team that know how to. They just had to scheme it up differently for their playmakers to make the plays that they needed to in order to get away from Clemson and eventually close the door on Clemson. All right, everyone. The next stop on the tour around the stadium is going to be the new area where the newest construction is actually being done at Doak Campbell and at Florida State.
Yeah, they're extending out the practice facility over here. There's a lot of work being done compared to what it was last time we were here around baseball season. Let's try to give them a look about it.
So as you can tell, and if you've been to Doak before, there used to be a ginormous practice field area, parking, all that kind of stuff here. As you can kind of see in the background, that's what it'll eventually turn into. So they're definitely getting started on it. I mean, as you can see, the elevator and some of the outer rafting as far as the building on the side where the soccer stadium is actually starting to get fully built. But it seems like stuff is slowly coming together. It's definitely going to take a little while, it seems.
Definitely. There's a lot of stuff getting built around here, and it's pretty cool seeing that, like the stadium getting refreshed.
Yeah.
And we're getting FSU's getting a giant new practice facility. Well, even bigger than the one they already have.
Even bigger than the one they currently have.
If y'all haven't seen the inside of it, it is actually really cool. Probably one of the coolest practice facilities I've seen in photos and everything.
She's a beaut.
Yeah.
And it's going to get even more beautiful with the add-ons that they're going to have for the football-only facility. So it's going to be very cool for sure.
Yeah. That's one thing Florida can't say. Their facility is an all-sports facility. This is going to be a football-only facility.
No swimmers. Yeah. So the new football-only facility.
Yeah. All right, so right now we're in front of the Sod Cemetery.
Indeed. Yes. The infamous Sod Cemetery.
Josh has a lot of wisdom about this place.
Lots of wisdom indeed. Yes, the Sod Cemetery is a place on FSU's campus to where they put every single win that we've had away that we were favored to lose. So we were the underdog in the game. We went into the opposing place and we won ever since, I believe it was 1980 something. We've been doing it. So we've been taking sod from every single football stadium. As you can tell, we've been to quite a few. As you can see, 2014 over there against Georgia Tech in the ACC championship. That was the 100th Sod Cemetery recovery game. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. They actually have a Sod Cemetery where you can actually come here and do tours of it, and they can give you like a quick little 30-minute overview of everything and the history of it. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool. The latest one that they do have is the plaque from last year's ACC championship game. They were underdogs or favored to lose in that game because they did not have Jordan Travis. But yeah, they won that game pretty heavily, and they looked great that game. Yeah.
Very, very nice stuff as we're starting to see a few of the FSU staff go back and forth between the stadium and the practice facility, getting everything ready. So it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game.
If
for
you
sure.
look right here behind us, there's the gate that goes over to the practice facility. We already saw a bunch of people walk over that way. But we're going to go over to the fountains over by the other side of the stadium, see if we can find some fans and talk about some other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
All right, so right now we're in front of the Heritage Towers of the Torches
One of
fountain.
the cooler places on campus.
Yes, we have the water kind of giving us a cool breeze right now in the shade.
It is hot here
Very,
in
very
Tallahassee
hot.
today. I feel bad for everyone tailgating. It's going to be a long day.
Definitely. Speaking of which, we are going to have a tailgate later today.
Yes.
Hopefully by the time this is posted, it's before the tailgate and people can see this and come on out. We're going to have a bunch of people coming, giving us some insight on what they think is going to happen with the FSU Boston College game, and just have a good time, really.
We'll also have a whole bunch of stickers.
Yes.
So if you want to come by and grab a sticker, feel free. We'll also be around and about. So hit us up. We got a whole bunch of colors. Of course, mainly garnet and gold because those are the ones you're going to want to get. But yeah, we got a whole bunch of stickers. So definitely come by and see us.
Definitely. But while we're here, I do want to talk about the awful game that happened on Saturday, especially for me and other Florida fans. Yes, today I am wearing FSU stuff. But
you will never see me.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Gators in Miami this past weekend. Florida did not show up. I'm just going to say that straight off the bat. What we've heard and what we've talked about this whole offseason and what we've been told by Billy Napier is basically the exact opposite. Nothing has changed. Graham Mertz has basically regressed in his passing style. He had a bunch of overthrows. He did not look comfortable in the pocket one bit. But given Miami's defense was very, very stacked on Saturday.
The O-line didn't give him much comfortability when the man's getting – like there were 5 or 6 tackles where a defensive end had his full arm around Mertz's neck. It was like just throwing him by his neck down on the ground. Play after play after – like the O-line wasn't picking Mertz up after he fell down. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. But Mertz did end up with a concussion in the fourth quarter.
He got hit hard.
Very, very hard. He's going to be out for our next 2 games, all the way up to the Texas A&M game. So that's a big loss for us. But DJ Lagway got his first start as a true freshman.
He did.
A bunch of hype around him being the first overall quarterback taken in this past recruitment stage. He's very, very good. His first drive went 4 and out. They just did these basic plays, run up the middle, and nothing happened. But his second drive, he looked good. He was comfortable in the pocket, making some good throws. And then his third drive, offensive line went back to what they're used to. And he was sacked after sack and then was hit while he went to go throw. And it was intercepted, his first pick of his college football career. But set in point about that game, Billy Napier is creating his offensive scheme with a coloring book. It's plain. It's nothing to it. It was
no
very
colored pencils. Not even colored pencils. Just
it was sad to
crayons.
watch. I was calling plays before it happened, so I know for a fact everybody on the Miami sideline definitely was
I bet
too.
you were calling 4 corners, bringing 4 pressure, 8, 9 deep, 4 wide on defense. Huh?
Yeah, I was definitely calling the run plays before it even happened. But there was a little bright spot, I do have to say. Trey Wilson, even though he did not get a lot of touches, he did show a lot of good effort. We haven't seen much on Eli Badger and our other wide receivers, but hopefully coming up these next 2 games, we will see a progressive state of mind with these guys and they start playing better. But as of right now, I see a 3-9 season for the Florida Gators.
Yeah. Shout out Ricky Pearsall.
Yes, that is big news. He was shot Saturday night. Someone was trying to rob him of his Rolex.
But he shot back and was alive. So
he actually walked to the ambulance.
Oh yeah, and
up.
on the gurney and everything. Oh yeah, big dub for Florida.
Yeah,
big dub for Florida.
That man's a big, strong guy. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. Get strong and healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna finish our little walk around the stadium, talk a little more about the LSU game that happened yesterday too.
Indeed.
All right, guys, this segment's probably gonna be really quick because it's
It's hot.
hot.
So as you could, oh wait,
no,
sorry.
you
no,
got
no,
it.
okay. So as you can see behind us is the Unconquered statue, which is infamous in Tallahassee, Florida. You can probably see up at the very top here, it is actually lit. They do that ceremony, I believe, every Friday night at like 11 something. They come out here and light it, and some people come around. Super cool. The background behind the Unconquered statue is it was actually said by Chief Osceola while he was on Renegade after a big battle against the white man, but but it is well renowned in the United States, well renowned at FSU. I mean, it's a beautiful statue. Everyone knows it from College Game Day because they usually have it right here on Landis Green, which is where we're at. So it's a very cool, just a little add-on to the beautiful brick structure that we have at Doak Campbell Stadium. But yeah.
Definitely. Real quick before we get off of this segment, I do want to get your prediction on the Boston College game that's going to be happening today.
I feel like Boston College is going to cover, and they're going to be a whole bunch of points, but FSU will pull it out with a 10-point win.
I think FSU is going to pull it out with probably either a 3-point to a 10-point win also.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Castellan, whatever his name is for BC, is going to have like 800 total productive yards with rushing and passing. It's going to be insane. But yeah. And real quick, the other game yesterday.
Oh, LSU and USC. That was a game that we were totally wrong about.
Very much thought, Brian Kelly and LSU would be able to close the door easily with a USC that doesn't have Caleb Williams.
Yeah. They ended up showing up and showing out. LSU looked good that first half, coming back and tying it up before halftime.
They were the better team for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But they had lack of communication towards the end of the game. It did fall upon Chip Kelly with his bad coaching down towards the fourth quarter. But USC looked strong, stayed in very well.
They stayed in the game even when LSU scored with like a minute and 20-something left. They stayed composed. They went down the field. Everybody thought they were just going to go for the field goal, and then they run it right down the middle with like a 25-yard rush for a touchdown. So beautiful. Yeah,
good for USC. They come out on top of that game. So the only 2 losses in the SEC three losses was Texas A&M against Notre Dame, Florida against Miami, and then last night LSU versus USC. Yeah. But we're going to make a walk back over to a shaded part, and we're going to sign off on this segment of the college football.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this walk around the stadium pregame, our version, a little bit of a pre-college game day. Definitely tune in to the show that we're going to be having on later on today at the tailgate. Definitely going to have some fun stuff going on. Definitely come by, pick up a sticker, come say hey, grab a beer, come and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. This has been a lot of fun going around the stadium talking about what's happening, different college games going on. We're going to hopefully do this every home game that Florida State has. And, it's just been a blast. Y'all come out to the tailgate that we're going to be doing. Hopefully this is going to be posted before all that.
Yeah.
And tune into our podcast on Mondays and Fridays. Today is a little different because given this game is on a Monday. But tune in this Friday at 7:45. We'll be on talking about some NFL games that will be happening on Thursday, our first kickoff to that. A little bit about our fantasy football that we set up.
Did. Yeah, and we had a little bit of a draft last night at Hobbit.
Definitely. And we'll be talking about more games that will be happening next week and for week 2. So, but other than that, thank y'all so much for watching. You ready to sign off?
Indeed.
Yeah. Game Day Handshake signing off.
Peace.
That's nasty.
With a mouth.
Jesus. We wasted 11 minutes of their time when they come back to this. So sorry we did not do a podcast last Friday at 7:45 like we said we did.
Yeah,
but we
no.
will have one this Friday at 7:45. So stay tuned for that one. But the game that we were talking about on my side, Florida versus Miami. Let's go ahead and dive into that, and then we'll talk about the Florida State-Boston College game. Florida forgot to show up on the first Saturday of college football. They lost 41-17 against the Miami Hurricanes. God, I hate them. God. Florida looked god-awful. Graham Mertz went 11 for 20, only 91 yards and no touchdowns. DJ Lagway had 3 for 6, 31 yards and no touchdowns and 1 interception. So did Graham Mertz. If you look on the opposite side of that coin, Cam Ward had 26 for 35, 385 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception that was not his fault, that was tipped up by a defensive lineman. Florida's offensive line did not show up. Basically ran straight to the sidelines after every snap, giving Miami just all the time in the world to go sack Graham Mertz. Throwing him down onto the ground. Looked like one guy took a dump on him. It was god-awful. On the other side of the ball, Miami's offensive line was able to stand up and was waiting almost 3 to 5 business days before Florida's defensive line even decided to move. Cam Ward had not 3 to 5 business days like the offensive line did to stand up. He had 2 to 7 business weeks to throw, it felt like. He was throwing all over Florida. Our defensive backs, our corners, looked god-awful. No communication at all in the defense. None of the 70 defensive coordinators we have could have communicated with each other or the players on getting things done. Our offense of coordinator, which is our head coach, like I said in that video before, creates everything out of a coloring book. And like Josh said, there was...
It's not even colored pencils, just
Yeah.
straight crayon.
The only thing missing is a Marine guy sitting next to him to eat the crayons after he's done making the playbook. It was god-awful. To bounce back off of that, Florida did have a good game this past week against Samford. Did not look good the first half at all. Then DJ finally caught some stride. Looked pretty decent. Let's look at what his stat line was that game. Wasn't the best, but it was pretty decent. He was 18 for 25, 456 yards and 3 touchdowns. So yeah, it was pretty decent. His first half stats is what really caught my eye. I was like, that's not good at all. But his second half stats is what made it a little better. A lot better. Samford did not have any production at all. Their quarterback went 22 for 31, 144 yards. Their only touchdown came off the ground, and he went 9 for 26. Montrell Johnson actually looked pretty decent this game. He went 15 for 67 yards. Jaden Baugh did get some more touches. He got 4 touches for 34 yards, so it was pretty decent. DJ Lagway did have some scrambles out of the pocket going upfield. He had 5 carries for 16 yards, so nothing really to write home about to mom and dad. But Florida did come out with the win, 45-7, which most of the points came in the third quarter. But yeah, that kind of sums up the past 2 weeks for Florida with how god-awful it was. But this week we do play Texas A&M at home. More than likely you're going to see Florida lose by 30 or more points. But Friday we'll talk more about that. But going over to the FSU side of things, how you feeling?
We have, at Florida State, a confidence problem. FSU believes, Mike Norvell and company believes, since they have pulled out the best of the Verses, the Johnny Wilsons, the Fisks, the Jordan Travises, the Keon Colemans, all of them coming from the transfer portal at one time. Jordan Travis literally came pretty much as a freshman, not really, because he did play Arizona State for a year, but he didn't get like any playing time. Did he? Did he play?
Who?
Jordan Travis.
He came from
I thought he came from Arizona State.
no, Louisville.
Oh, it was Louisville. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, he came from Louisville.
Another one of their prized possessions that we've taken away from them.
Mm-hmm.
However, this year with DJ and other company, I believe the coaching staff believed that they could do whatever they wanted to with the overhaul of players, and they could make DJ a player that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
DJ is garbage. Literal garbage. I have not seen a worse starting quarterback for Florida State since J.J. Constantino started for us in 2016 against Houston
I forgot about
in
that
the
guy.
Chick-fil-A Bowl. I sat there in 90-degree heat because they didn't have the AC running, and that was the old Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
The old
That was
Georgia.
right before they tore it down,
Literally the last game. I believe the last game, or second, like the last game that they played in it.
Mm-hmm.
And watched countless quarterback after countless quarterback get hurt. FSU had J.J. Constantino, literally looked exactly like that. I'm worried that after looking at who Mike Norvell's rolling out against Memphis, what a shock. DJ Uyunglele is the starting quarterback yet again. Even though there are some positive changes, I guess you could say, as far as receiver, some defensive position moves. I believe there's an offensive line move that might be beneficial. But the fact that we are rolling out with DJ yet again, I mean, it is what it is. I really don't think it does benefit Brock because he's a redshirt freshman. He's Jameis Winston. If we just threw, even though it's not Jameis, like they're not the same comparison, but like it would be throwing a kid that doesn't know really what he's doing except for the 2 games he played to then start, and then behind him you have a true freshman who cannot play this year. He needs at least a year to sit out. Terrible. 38-20. I literally was in khaki pants. I was in an FSU checkered, full, like, nice cotton shirt, like a $200 shirt from Alumni Hall. I still remember it. I went to Alumni Hall and spent $200 on this shirt, and I sweat. And I even put a bow tie on. We sat in the top and sweat for 4 quarters and watched FSU lose.
Yeah, I just looked up the score from that.
It was
It was 38-24. Sean McGuire was the starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's because
and then JJ Costino, whatever you say.
JJ Constantino.
Yeah.
Dog water. Absolute dog water. So FSU's trash. Say it how it is. I think they'll win maybe 3 games this year. I think the crap bowl, we're literally going to have our first bowl game of the year before bowl season even starts. We're going to have Florida State.
Yeah, the crap bowl.
and the best person on the field is going to be the quarterback for Florida.
He might not. Yeah. With how Billy Napier coaches, he probably won't even see the field. It'll probably be our fourth string quarterback playing that because he forgot DJ Lagway's on the team. I don't know. He would do that. That'd be something he would do. He'd probably forget how to get to the stadium and end up inside the O-Dome.
Probably all those edibles he's on.
He looks like man had no emotion after that game was finished.
Couldn't
I wish
get a
I had.
bottle open.
I wish I saved these clips for the difference between his interview and Mike Norvell's interview. The two difference between those losses. Napier sitting there. I'm gonna reenact. Yeah, we lost that game. It was pretty bad. You know, we didn't do our hardest, and it was, you know, it was a hard game. I can't open that bottle. And then and then Norvell goes up on there, and he's pissed off. He's yelling and screaming. Not
He
yelling
should be
and screaming,
pissed off.
but
He's
like,
at 0-2. He's trash.
he was so pissed off about how the performance was, and he took a lot of fault in the coaching aspect of the game, which, in my opinion, he shouldn't have. It was all DJ's fault.
No. It was everybody's fault.
That tight end can't catch
the player of the game is our kicker and our punter. Once again, FSU has a stellar kicking crew.
Oh, yeah.
But we just suck in everything else. We're terrible.
Y'all's tight end is so bad, he didn't even get a reception that whole game.
Holy! He was targeted like 5 times.
Number 84, there's not a single reception from him.
Jeez. Yeah, and we have Jaden Mubboy. Lucas is out for the remainder of the year, even though he hardly ever got any time at all.
Yeah.
Rushing. Holy
Yeah. Yeah, that was a sad game. Cam Davis only got 11 yards on 3 carries, which is crazy. Roydell Williams got 3 carries for 10 yards. I don't understand how they gave Uyunglele 42 attempts to throw the ball. And in total, out of all y'all's running backs,
we ran
carries.
it 8 times. No, DJ ran it 8 times.
Considering his out-of-pocket sacks, -5 yards. That was total.
How much was the total for the team? 22 yards. 21 yards. On 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 carries.
Yep.
Holy.
The flags, too, is what really killed y'all.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
Stumped a lot of drives. And it was just horrible. But you ready to talk about this past weekend's games?
And also, FSU is paying this defensive line, I don't know how much money, and we only had 2.5 sacks.
Yeah.
And they weren't even, it was Earl Little Jr., who isn't even a defensive line player. He's literally a DB. And Daniel Lyons, who was a sub-in. Hold on. Patrick Payton had 1 tackle.
Yep.
Where is he? Where's the other?
Y'all's defense
Where's the
let go of
legacy?
so many plays.
Where's the legacy at? Did he even get it? Did he even record a? No.
No, he didn't record a tackle. Remember, he had that one guy go right past him. I think it was for the touchdown. Yeah, Boston College had a lot of breakout plays against Florida State, which was insane. No effort towards the end of the game either from Florida State, which Florida didn't have that.
Well, after us booing them nonstop, I wouldn't really give any effort either.
Yeah. All the fans did make it on TV chanting, "We want Brock." So.
Wow, the booing. of DJ and the "We Want Brock" chant was insane.
Yeah. There was a couple of the players on the sidelines, which their whole job on the sidelines is try to pump up the crowd, and they were sitting there like, shh, shh, and the more they did that, the louder everybody got.
Yep. Yep.
Hopefully, y'all can turn around this week. Y'all play Memphis.
Loss.
That's Norvell's old school that he came from.
I'd be lucky if we keep it within 21 points.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Memphis is 1,000 times better than Boston College is.
I want to say Florida State pulls it out. Finally figures out how to use DJ. Because I was looking at some clips of him when he was at Clemson.
No, he's terrible.
I don't understand how Dabo only got 3 losses out of him throughout that whole season.
He's awful.
Yeah.
The fact that I literally saw that man throw the ball 4 separate times directly into the dirt with no one around. Done.
Yeah.
There's no saving him. There's no figuring him out. He is trash.
You ready to talk about games from this past weekend?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's calm down a little, buddy. So, let's start off with the game that everybody was talking about all Saturday long is Texas and Michigan.
Michigan's awful.
Texas walked into the big house and showed Michigan what's up. They won 42-6. Oh, well, I've read the Alabama score. 31-12. Alabama score is next to talk about. But Quinn Ewers looks so
Quinn
good.
Ewers.
Ewers. Yeah, why did I say Ewers? Quinn Ewers looks so good. He was 246 passing yards to Ryan Wingo.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers. Ooh, 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 ooh. A coochie coo. Yeah, Michigan's awful.
Yeah. The
Good fall
quarterback
guy,
from Michigan, he went 22 for 33, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. While Quentin Ewers got 24 for 36, 246 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dang. And Donovan Edwards, how did that man make the cover athlete on EA or college football? I know we talked about that when the cover athletes was released, that he didn't show anything last year to be a cover athlete. And he definitely did not give anything to that argument. He went 8 carries for 41 yards.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Not too well.
Michigan probably didn't even have 200 yards of total offense.
Barely over, yeah.
Barely ever.
Let's see. 286 yards in total. Dang. By the third quarter, almost the end of the third quarter, Texas was putting in backups, like backup wide receivers and backup defensive players, and was still smoking Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
So
and
it
they
should
were putting in, Texas was putting in backup defenders, and Michigan still couldn't move the ball.
Yeah, that's sad. Michigan is going to probably end this season with 3 or 4 losses.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
But one game that was very surprising, that I already gave away the score. I know the score that I said, 42-16 Alabama winning, is like, oh, that's a blowout. You take away the fourth quarter.
They literally scored 28 points.
USF almost had
quarter.
that game.
It was literally 13-14 until 8 minutes left, 7 minutes left, and then they just started running up the score.
Yeah.
Almost backdoor covered, too.
USF was ready for that game,
Mm-hmm.
but they lost some steam pretty quick towards the fourth quarter.
I feel like if that game would have been at Tampa,
Like last year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they might have been able to, because their quarterback, like I told everyone, this is the quarterback that we honestly probably should have gotten instead of DJ Uyunglele is the quarterback that's currently at USF, because, I mean, other than a little bit of course, the mechanic stuff, dude was throwing it on time. He's quick. He knows when to throw it. He knows when to hold on to it. Did he have a pick?
I don't think so, but he went 15 for 35 with only 124 passing yards.
I'll take it.
Or 103 passing yards. He was a 42.9 completion percentage.
Did he run it? Pretty sure he had a decent rushing game.
He did. He had 23 carries for 108 yards.
Yeah. I'll take 100 a buck.
Yeah.
I'll take 100 passing yards and 100 rushing yards. I'll take it.
Yeah, against an SEC defense
With USF people as your help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One game that was surprising for a lot of people and made me laugh extremely hard was Notre Dame getting upset at home to Northern Illinois.
Beautiful. Paid them like $1.4 million to go in there and lose.
Yeah. That is funny.
Great feeling for all those lower tier teams that get to go in and get paid to go and win.
I think that's almost as good as when App State went to Michigan and won. Especially after Notre Dame's win last week against Texas A&M.
Not exactly, because Northern Illinois has already been to like an Orange Bowl. FSU played them in 2014 in the Orange Bowl, 2013 in the Orange Bowl, 2012 in the Orange Bowl, something like that. Like EJ put like 50 gazillion points on Dustin Lynch, Daniel Lynch. So I guess, yes, Northern Illinois, I guess, is a little bit, but of course, Appalachian State. Notre Dame's terrible. That's all I have to say.
Notre Dame looked god-awful. Just absolutely horrible. One game that is surprising on the score column is Oregon barely scraping past Boise State 37-34. I know them two do have a little tiff when they play each other. They play all out. But if Oregon plays like this against a Big Ten team,
they didn't play good last week.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be making it too far in the Big Ten.
And they thought that they were going to be the team that won the national championship this year.
Yeah,
everybody thought they were, because they have what's his name from Oklahoma that transferred, Dylan Raiola, or not Raiola. I'm thinking of Nebraska, but yeah. Oh well.
Tennessee played NC State this past week and utterly destroyed them 51-10. That is definitely putting a belt to the booty. As soon as NC State makes top 25, they say,
no.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Oklahoma barely scraping past Houston 16-12.
Yes. In an awful offensive game.
Very awful. That was a lot of...
Could not move the ball on either side anywhere.
One game that was crazy, too, was an Arkansas team that was... Everybody said at the beginning of the season was going to be horrible, just like Florida. But they took Oklahoma State, number 16 team in the country, probably moving up in everything now.
They played Oklahoma State.
And barely lost in overtime, 39-31.
No, man, Arkansas is going to be good this year.
Yeah. Arkansas is going to be pretty decent if they can hold up in the SEC. Tulane. This was crazy when I was watching it at the bar the other day. Tulane was beating Kansas State at halftime. 17-10.
Oh, yeah.
And they ended up losing, almost won it, 34-27, Kansas State. Tulane's, that's a pretty good team right there. I'm going to give them a bunch of credit for that. Moving down the list, the ones that were pretty crazy. Georgia Tech losing to Syracuse 31-28. The biggest story about that wasn't about what happened on the field. It was basically what the Syracuse quarterback said after the game, saying Georgia Tech effing sucks. This team is horrible. Dang. Another team that barely got into the top 25, and everybody says, get out. Clemson is now in the top 25, being 0-1. They won 66-20 against App State. So a big rebound from last week. South Carolina, Kentucky. That was a game everybody was talking about too, because South Carolina beat Kentucky 31-6. And before the season, everybody on the SEC network, Paul Feinbaum included, was saying Kentucky was going to be one of those dark horses in the SEC, that they're going to be back, be big, all this other kind of stuff. And South Carolina with Beamer ball wasn't going to be good. South Carolina really flipped the script on that game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And the game above that, Cal versus Auburn, 21-14, Cal beating them. Auburn did not show up at all. Looked god-awful throughout almost the whole entire game.
That's what happens when you have Hugh Freeze as your coach.
Mm-hmm. Woke culture beat the Built Boys from the South. Those were the memes that were going around afterwards. Virginia, Wake Forest. That was a nail-biter towards the end. Virginia barely scrapes by 31-30. Did you watch that game?
The Nebraska?
No, Virginia, Wake Forest.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But
ACC. Ugh.
one game that basically showed everybody the true colors of what a team is what Josh just said, Nebraska versus Colorado. I'm going to laugh all the way through if I talk. I'm going to let you take over this.
I mean, pretty much Nebraska's good. They're not great. Colorado's terrible. I thought FSU was going to be like the worst team. Colorado probably has to be the worst 1-1. Literally gets a barely win against an FCS opponent that has FCS caliber players, and then expect to get up to the next big stage, the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC football, and expect to do the exact same thing. You're not. You're not. You're playing against real defenses with real speed that your offensive line cannot block, because you know why? You don't have any white people blocking.
That's very true.
I've seen it literally all over Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. He has no corn-fed boys to protect the Cartier and the Gucci. You can't get Cartier and Gucci to protect Cartier and Gucci. You got to get corn-squeezing 11 country boys. Like what Nebraska has.
Yeah.
Literally, Nebraska has had probably an all-white O-line for the past 800 years of existence.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that you have to have all white players. Not saying that at all. Definitely. Maybe a center, maybe a right guard. But all the rest of them should be white.
Yeah.
Or you'll have a Colorado offensive line. Or a Florida State offensive line, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
Throw them out at the position players that make plays, not the ones that block.
Shedeur did go 23 for 38, 244 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
Dog cheeks.
And you look over here at Nebraska's quarterback. He went 23 for 30, 185 yards, and 1 touchdown. Their star rushing guy on Nebraska was Dowdell. He had 17 carries for 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Hunter was a bright spot. He had 10 reception for 110 yards.
Literally.
So take out Travis Hunter. Shedeur only had 134 pass yards.
Yes. Which brings the thing. If Shador doesn't have Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter's Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he's going to be good no matter where he goes.
But Shador, what happens when you don't have Daddy's offense and you don't have Daddy's prize lamb that he took away from us, Florida State, to come play with you?
Yeah. Well,
Pitiful.
where would Shador be without Colorado? Oh, that's right.
Where would Shador be without his dad? Oh, wait, working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Or Walmart, probably, honestly.
Still be playing at JU where he was playing before Colorado.
Or, getting into the thuggish activity like John Morant.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. It's a lot of stuff we got to look forward to for week 3, though. Alabama's playing Wisconsin. That's going to be a big win for Alabama. Or they might get upset.
Could you imagine?
That
place is going to be electric, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Boston College is playing an SEC opponent at Missouri. 12:45 this week. That's going to be a game to watch.
Good little Miami Ball State action. ACC Network.
A Big Ten Pac-12 game is happening. Oregon versus Oregon State. That's crazy to say. I'm glad they got to keep their rivalry.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Even though it's played on week 2.
Yeah.
No.
So Miami's going to move 3-0 on their schedule because they have the weakest schedule in college football. They play Ball State at 3:30. Oklahoma's playing Tulane. You never know if Tulane shows up like they did this past week. They might beat Oklahoma this week.
Purdue's beating Notre Dame.
Purdue is definitely beating Notre Dame. So right now, I'm giving Purdue probably winning by 17 points.
I just got them winning.
Oh, really? I would say they win by 17. Florida plays Texas A&M. That's going to be a loss on Florida.
Man, they got you beating down on ABC.
Mm-hmm.
No, that game's going to be closer than you think.
All big SEC
that
games
quarterback's
are gonna be on,
terrible.
Yeah, all SEC games are going to be on ABC, really. Big ones. Washington State's going to be happening. Another Big Ten Pac-12.
Ooh. So
Utah State's happening.
Ooh.
Ole Miss and Wake Forest.
Wouldn't that be funny?
If Wake Forest
Are they at Wake Forest?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Wake Forest might have the upset on that.
Not a chance.
Georgia versus Kentucky. Kentucky might. No, never mind.
No,
Georgia
that would be funny. That would be funny. Them only being able to score 6 points on Beamer ball and then beat Georgia at home.
That would be hilarious. UCF versus TCU. First big test for UCF this upcoming week. Colorado versus Colorado State. That's a game to watch because last year Colorado State almost pulled out that win.
Indeed.
I think they actually win this because they're playing at Colorado State. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Shador Sanders walk into the locker room 2 minutes before the game ends because he's so upset.
Yeah. They haven't played since the infamous game last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's all the games that's going to be happening this up and coming Saturday. Ones to watch. I'm glad football's back. I'm sad that our college teams
are not good at all.
are not appealing to look at. But raise the flag, fire the cannons.
1-0.
We're baking.
We're baking.
I'm loving it. Anything you want to touch on before we head off? Because we are sitting here at 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Yes, it is 10 o'clock at night now.
Yeah.
Just somebody needs to make DJU go missing in a friendly handshake way.
Yeah. I tried to post not post video, get the video onto the stream today of everybody's prediction from the Boston College game. Did not work on transferring over to the computer, so check that into the box of another day or another stream of something not working.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Yeah. But thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all were a spectacular audience, and I hope we were great hosts.
A spectacular audience. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But without further ado,
Without the do further
episode 39
in the books.
in the books.
See you Mormons later.
Yes. On Friday, 7:45. That would be episode 40.
The more Jews.